I was with the 428th Engineer Company. We were reservists based out of Wausau, Wisconsin, and we were a combat engineer unit.
Just for the audience out there, IED
Yep, 200-pound IED.
on patrol.
Yeah, we were searching for. That's what we did. We searched for the bombs in the roads, and as we were on patrol, one of the special days that we got hit, I penetrated my truck, took off both my legs, and I received more than 26 injuries. I've had more than 27 surgeries since that day. I was in a coma for a month and a half, hospitalized for a year after that, and then went through intense therapy and got my prosthetics and learned how to walk again. While they were operating on me, I actually died twice.
Do you remember that experience, or was it just you went to sleep and woke up, or did you see a bright light or anything? Or
I was pretty much out. I don't remember anything.
but you remember the actual explosion?
Yep. While I was in the truck, I remember everything that happened. After the blast, making sure my soldiers inside the truck were okay, checking myself, trying to keep everything at least okay in my mind.
So was it like slow motion, fast motion?
It was actually super fast. In an instant, the blast already happened. My truck was on its side already, and next thing I know, I'm checking to see if my soldiers were okay. It was pretty much that quick. Just you're driving down the road, boom, you're checking to see if your soldiers are okay because you just got blown up and making sure everything's all right.
And at that point, you didn't even know you lost your leg or your legs were damaged until because you passed out. You said went in a coma.
Yeah, I checked to see if they were okay. They were okay. I had to keep myself hovered up off of the passenger because he was suffocating because my body was laying on him. So I held myself up until I couldn't. I didn't have any more energy. And at that time, my soldiers from the other trucks, my medic and stuff, they all came and started pulling me out, and that's when I passed out into a coma.
But your life today, I mean, I talked to a lot of veterans who've come back from Afghanistan, Iraq, or World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and they say they go to war and they come back different.
Yeah, that's normally the case. War is not exactly a normal life kind of thing, So it can change a man, and honestly, it changes them only two ways. It makes you a better person or a completely different and normally worse. So I had two directions to go, and God was able to help me go in the right directions.
So what was the toughest challenge you had to overcome with your injuries? Was there a specific thing or the whole thing? I mean, learning to walk again? I mean, what was the hardest thing for you to...
Honestly, the mental aspect of it all. Because the physical, once I got through the mental, God would give me the strength for the physical, and I was the fastest double amputee out of the Center for the Intrepid. So it wasn't so much the physical, it was getting through the pain and torture mentally that I went through in the hospital and stuff. It was pretty devastating. So I mentally had to handle that, and it made me who I am today. Yeah.
Did it strengthen your faith in God? Did you have faith before you got injured?
I had faith, but it was not nearly as strong as it is today because of what I've been through. It took such a big tragedy to shake me up and really get me to realize that God is out there and He's watching over me and He's protecting me and He's guiding every step that I take in my life, and if I have a relationship with Him, He's gonna bless me. And so I didn't have that thought process before, and so I try to tell people, don't let the big tragedy come into your life. Like, find Him first, because you don't know if you can handle that. But when that tragedy comes, you don't know if you can handle that by yourself. I almost took my own life after I was blown up. I was this close, but God spoke to me and He's like, that's not what I want you to do. But you never know where you're going to be at when that tragedy strikes, and if you're going to be able to handle it. So I try to tell people to fall for Him now, because you don't want to be laying 6 feet under after a tragedy without Him. So
Did you feel invincible? Did you feel like you were bulletproof at one time, or?
I was always a cocky guy, so I guess I always felt that way. Bulletproof, but it's not. We're not so much trained to die for our country. We're trained to be the best soldier and fight for our country. We're trained to fight, not die. So the fact that I was trained to fight kept my confidence high. But I'm the type of person that I would gladly step in front of that bullet. I would gladly take that IED instead of another soldier. That's just the person I have always been. So I was trained to do my job and fight, but I also went over there gladly willing to risk my life for my soldiers and my country. Easily.
And you joined the military, why?
9/11. It was a day I'll never forget. I was in 8th grade, and I knew that growing up I was going to be a soldier after I saw that and fight for my country for what had happened. So I was angry for a little bit, but I was really sad. I cried. I knew that lots of people were dying right in front of my face and on that TV, and I knew that I couldn't stop it, and it was devastating.
At any part during your deployment, did you feel like you're getting payback for what happened?
I guess in a way, yes, but I tried not to think that way because now I'm face to face in the actual heat of the battle and doing what I needed to do over there. So at that point, you're no longer thinking about revenge. You're thinking about keeping your soldiers safe and getting back home. And I was just happy to come back home, even though it's in 3 pieces instead of 1, but I'm still breathing.
I'll ask you this question. Who are the real heroes?
The ones who have already fallen. Like my best friend, Justin Ross, from Green Bay, Wisconsin, who was taken out by a sniper while we were in Afghanistan together. So, I mean, yeah, people call the wounded warriors heroes as well, but I don't like that term myself because I was just doing my job.
What do you say to World War II, Korea, or Vietnam vets when you meet them on your travels? Do you go up to them and what do you say to them?
I honor them and I thank them because if it wasn't for us, people always tell me if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. Well, no, I'm very young. If it wasn't for the beginners, the beginning soldiers who kept on fighting from World War I, World War II, Vietnam, all of those, every single one of them, if it wasn't for them, we would not be here.
You know, I did this last night, but I just want to thank you again for your service.
Thank you.
JP, to our country, and freedom's not free, and I go into schools a lot, and I talk to kids, and I know you've been to some schools, and they need to see and know the reality of war and why we have our freedoms today.
Another day, another fight. It always feels like an uphill climb. Another step, another mile. The story of your life. It's harder than you ever thought, and it costs you everything you got. When you're back against the wall and you feel like giving up. This is only a mountain. You don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. This is only a moment. You don't have to let your fear control it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. You gotta find a second wind. It's not as high as you think it is. Don't give up, don't you quit. You gotta climb if you wanna win, yeah. And I know it looks big, and I know you feel small, but just a little bit of faith can change it all, change it all. This is only a mountain. You have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. This is only a moment. You don't have to let your fear control it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. Ask like you believe it, trust like you can see it. Take your fear and say there's nothing in your way, no. Even when it looks big, even when you feel small, with just a little bit of faith can change it all. This is only a mountain, you don't have to find your way around it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. This is only a moment, you don't have to let your fear control it. Tell it to move, it'll move. Tell it to fall, it'll fall. It's only a mountain, only a mountain, only a mountain, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just a little bit of faith can change it all. It's only a mountain. Just a little bit of faith can change it all. It's only a mountain. You're watching Larry TV. My Peggy Sue, you got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills.
You're too in love, let it go. I want you, Peggy Sue. Pretty, pretty, pretty Peggy Sue. Oh, Peggy.
I see the wind blow, I see your hair flying high.
Well, I love you, girl. I want you, Peggy Sue. Right on, right on.
It's been a long time since I heard that song.